Welcome back, everybody. Hope you are looking forward to some Godot development. We are kind of restarting from where we were last time, and I only have approximately 2 hours in which to work on this, so we'll see how far we get. Oh, I had to make sure I increase the size of the text again for viewers. Yep. And make sure we have our code built. Let's need to get that going. Bring over my terminal. Go. Let's see. There's dev. I currently, yeah, it has the in progress C# stuff that I was doing. And I had just added some more logic to confirm that things were running correctly in our C# logic. So the C# script had our reload assemblies function, and this is that function right where, so we're in reload assemblies, and I moved all the logic for updating information to the end of the function after the get script class name function had actually started giving correct data. So I noticed that it was only after this loop where it kind of reinstates some prior state that it actually starts to have the global script class definition for the C# class return the correct value. And so we now move the logic for registering that information down here. However, I noticed in this process that it still did not fix the problem of like the C# class's global class name kind of lagging behind the registration of the class compared to the file name, right? Because in C# you have to match the file name to the class name, and you're only allowed one class per file. And when you're making changes to it with the global classes, and then you build the project, it's kind of getting a delay because the in-memory representation has been modified, but it doesn't save that information to the script class system before it's serialized. And so I made a change compared to our previous and where we left off last time, where I'm now grabbing the editor file system directly and trying to call its update script classes function. But if we go into that function, there's this update script classes queued thing, which is called a safe flag. I am not exactly quite clear yet on what that is or what it means, but my understanding is that it's essentially like a mutex, right? Some kind of Boolean thread safe check. I haven't really dove into safe flags source code yet, but that would be my guess. And then it's saying like, hey, if it being queued, right, update script class is queued, if it's already been queued, or if it so is set and then not. So if it has not been queued, then it just returns when you attempt to update script classes, which is interesting. Because I kind of would have thought like, hey, please update script classes, and then it would check to see if a request has already been queued. And then if it has been queued, then it would end early, is what I would have thought. But it's like, no, it's when it's not queued is when it returns. So I'm like, okay. So it's like if there's already a queue set up where it's going to update script classes in the future, that's when it's choosing to move along with the logic? Question mark? Like, I don't exactly know, because this isn't the way it used to work, I don't think. This logic has changed a lot since I last tinkered with the code. It's like a year ago or something. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out why, when it's doing what, essentially. So, which is why I have these two print line statements I added. So we are going to try and run this. And now that I think about it, I probably should have started that build before I actually started breaking down everything, because I think it has not built yet. and so it might take a little bit. But yep, that's what we're doing. So I do hope that people are interested in Godot development. It's especially something I would hope a lot of, if I'm doing streams like this on a semi-regular basis, whenever I'm able to do them. But if I can do it, then I'm hoping it'll kind of attract people who may not have previously been like understanding about, oh, what is it like to work on code and stuff, and like debugging, what's that experience like, or for a complex application, because there are a lot. I remember being a student in computer science and in college, and having a very you would deal with like bugs and stuff like that, but a lot of the stuff that you were struggling with were things that were just kind of things beginners struggle with a lot, right? And and that still of course happens as you're more experienced, but it when you start dealing with a larger applications that are more complex, the challenges that you end up tackling are very different. So I think it's kind of nice to give an insight into what that can look like, and hopefully people can get some insight into that and see, oh, maybe working in a code base like Godot Engine isn't quite as complex as I thought. It still has its own challenges, but it is doable, right? And you can get your feet wet with the architecture and the way things work and how everything operates and interacts with one another. Okay, sorry, it takes a while for Godot to be draggable. Let's see. Also, for anyone who's kind of seeing this for the first time, there's some kind of issue with loading the icon.png for the Godot logo, and so like every time I open the editor, it has some obscure error, and then every time you close it, there's an exception thrown for trying to free the memory of the icon. No idea why, so just know that's a thing. Okay, so our CS node, right? We should have CS node 2 show up. Yep, in both places. Got the type name and the file name, and they're both correct. And then output. Okay, so it says update script classes queued is set as true. Proceeding with update script classes, which just makes sense because it's the first time that we were booting up the app. And now if I modify the type name, save the file, and then rename it. We have loading, assigning name is set true, true, false, true. Wow, I'm surprised it actually did it that many times. So false exit. Wait, so it actually ran through the function 3 different times? That's fascinating. Okay. And so it clears all of the global classes, scans script classes with get file system, and then saves the global classes and saves the editor icons. And then emits a signal that script classes have been loaded. And rebuilds the loaders. So it is kind of insane that doing it just that one time would trigger it so many different times. I mean, that's why the script classes queued thing would have existed. I guess to start off, we probably should take a quick look at safe flag and exactly what that is. So atomic bool flag from the standard library. Oh, okay. Static assert is set is flag.load and reorder acquire. Not familiar with this stuff. Okay, void set store true. Order release reader. Oh, I guess this is, saying whether you want to do a read or write operation, perhaps. Okay, an explicit constructor set to. Is that what that is? Or is that a like a cast kind of thing. Actually, I haven't seen explicit. That sounds like a cast operation or something, like a conversion. I don't know. Oh yeah, if you have a boolean and you're converting it, like you can just assign it and it'll create an instance. Maybe that's what they mean. I don't know. I haven't seen that in C++. I'll have to take a look at that sometime. Although I've been kind of immersed in C# lately rather than C++, so I probably just can't remember what the syntax looks like. Okay, so seems actually kind of simple there. Yeah, that's the entire class. Wow. All right. So it's literally just an atomic bool. Great. Okay. So update script classes queued. Can we find where this gets called? Because there's the place I'm calling it. There must be other locations as well. Update script classes, that's the binding. Here is declaration, and then this is, what is this? Update script names. This is save all scripts. Okay. Save, oh, in the script editor. Interesting. Why did it do that? Oh yeah, duh, because I made the change in the script editor and then renamed the file. All right, which that does make sense. That should have only accounted for like one of the things though. So then why did it trigger like 4 separate times? Ah, wait, here we go. Is set is true. There we go. Okay, so it is refreshing script classes every time the editor regains focus, like I thought it was supposed to do. Interesting. All right. Interesting that I did not experience that with the file system scanning. So it did it for update script classes queued, but it didn't handle that for setting up scanning of the file system, which is like getting the resource attached script updated. We might have to set that up as a separate thing too then, because we'll need updating of script classes to be a thing that relates to the attached script on resource files as well. Okay. Separate issue. Okay. Looks like we've got someone watching. Hey, cool. Welcome. Let's see. So why did it skip this one? We still have to figure out exactly why in C# script CPP here, updating editor cache script info. So have I? I don't think I've seen that anywhere. And that's a concern. That would be the reason that information isn't updating, right? Because, oh, because I haven't built yet. That's why. So let's try building. And then see in what order things execute. Try this up. There we go. Okay, so DLL modified, reloading C# assembly is false. Monitor 1. Yes, node 2, and this was me renaming it from 2 to nothing. So we get past these, so it hasn't updated there. And we don't have it show up in this list, where did I put that? Here. So it doesn't make it in this list for class get name. Is there a different number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So I'm guessing this one just doesn't show up in that other list. All right. Assigning name CS node, base type node. Saving global classes during reload assemblies. Right. And then it has false and it only added the true when I came back here. Okay. update script classes, queued is set is false. I still don't understand why it would say that if the queued is not set, then it doesn't proceed with the operation. Like that doesn't make any actual sense to me. Where? It's not this. Well, I mean, I do care about that, but it's really, I want to see where this is referenced. Because this logic is kind of nonsensical. Update script classes queued. If not is set. I mean, unless I'm just completely misunderstanding what the goal of the logic here is. It seems to be accomplishing its goal of actually triggering a scan successfully anytime the editor is re-entered. But if I just tell it to update script classes, then it doesn't trigger at the end of the process where it has updated the information. Right? Like I reloaded the assemblies, I update the script class information. Theoretically, I didn't actually see that logic in here, so I need to figure out why it didn't do that. This is my print statement. Right. Here did not fire. So things that were successfully reloaded, I was building a list of those things here. So for some reason, the file doesn't end up there. And I thought that was supposed to indicate that it successfully had a C# instance that was created. So if the instance was successfully made, then it would get to this point. Or at least that was my understanding. I wonder if maybe I'm missing something. Here, continue. Script, pending reload instances. Maybe I need to add something here that has the path of the script so I can know like which ones it's looking at. Evidently, there are a lot more C# scripts behind the scenes than just the one that I am dealing with. Okay, so I make my successfully reloaded list. And then for each script in the reload state. Oh wait, so there's another for loop. Is that something I'm? No, I'm outside of that for loop. Oh wait, no, this is a totally. I'm inside that for loop, and the print line is there. I bet that's the reason I'm seeing so many of these things. Object ID script pending reload instances. So those are multiple script instances for each singular script, I'm guessing. Okay, what if I move this then? So I need to turn this off and then rebuild it. And we'll put that here. Is that the right point? No, I think it was one more down. Yeah. Line script pending reload instances dot clear. Yeah. Successfully reloaded. That might actually end up getting the script in that list here so that I would then see this message, hopefully. But that still doesn't explain why it doesn't actually run this when I say that I want to update script classes. So I do still need to diagnose why the safe flag doesn't get set properly. Or rather, like why I can't tell it that I want to update the script classes. I mean, the alternative is that I just need to do a call deferred on updating all the relevant information, which maybe that's just what I need to do is a call deferred for updating script classes. unless there's a way for me to tell the editor file system that it needs to queue. That's probably what I need to do. This thing. Oh, now that it's done that again. And hey, look, there's my list of things again. Is update script classes queued? Update script classes. Clear. So it's a private method to queue it. If update script classes queued dot is set return. See, this makes sense. Update script classes queued dot set all deferred. Oh, so that's exactly what it does. All right. Interesting. Okay, Godot's back. I will test that in a moment after I have finished getting these things examined. Fine. Making sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. Oh, that's why it has top chat. I want to see live chat. Oh gosh. Dang. I had to modify that. Man. I guess I forgot to do that. I'm sorry about that, guys. Totally missed all your comments. It's a setting and thing, refresh scripts on focus kind of thing. What are you trying to do in general? What's the value of CSI? Maybe debug there. Non, do you know if that is GD native or GD extension? Okay, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. So if it's not clear what I'm trying to do in general, I'm trying to make sure that the global attribute on the C# script, that is here, this thing here, okay, global. So this global attribute, it allows me to register this as a global type, but it is not. It's lagging behind because the in-memory representation of the C# script does not actually update until you have built the binaries so that the DLL has been updated, and that's when it like copies information from the GD mono code in the DLL and like copies that into the C++ part of the engine using the C API. And so that's what is kind of broken at the moment, is that it's lagging behind the process of it'll update the information, but then it doesn't properly save the updated in-memory C# script data to the script server. So the C# script knows what type it's supposed to be, but it hasn't communicated that information properly to the script server before the script server then tries to save all the information. And so it ends up just not being recorded, essentially, even though the in-memory object has the right data, which is why we're then seeing like there's this kind of lagging behind process in, if I'd say CS node, we were, if I rename it, then we end up seeing the wrong information here because there'll be like a 2 here and this one will be the same. Or if I rename it back to the original name from CS node 2, then this will be CS node 2 and the file will have been updated correctly, and so, or like the file will have already been shown as the right thing, but the global class name that's been registered will be lagging behind. So that's what we're trying to fix. And welcome again, not unknown. Cool, that's quite a problem for a long time. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you haven't even had C# support, with the global script classes yet. So, and in order to get exportable resources going, I have to have global script class support working first. And I did have a prior implementation of it that was already working. And I think I remember vaguely how I had solved this kind of problem, but the way that I did it was like really hackish, and they would prefer that I use an alternate solution. So, which makes sense. Like, doing something that's a bit more clean and consistent with the way the rest of the engine works without having to do any kind of extra API. So I will have to do that. We're running. Okay, so so this is what I was going to do, and it already does that. Queue update script classes, but this is only run as it's a private method. So is there a way I can access this somehow or trigger it or You update script classes in scan. When does it do this? If not use threads, scan, update extensions. Oh yeah, and then do you know if that is GD native or GD extension? I don't exactly know yet what the distinctions are code-wise between GD native and GD extension in 4.0, because my initial understanding was that GD extension was supposed to be a replacement of GD native. Like you just don't have, GD native things anymore. It's just GD extension, more or less. I could be totally wrong, but I mean, there is no more real native script, and probably no plugin script, or I mean, maybe there's plugin script, but like you definitely don't need native script anymore because extension is simply a better API, and you just don't have a need for that. And I don't think you would need plugin script anymore either, because my understanding of GD extensions is that they did something with the C API to allow you to actually implement scripting language integrations using GD extensions, which is basically what plugin script is. I think you were right. I was wondering if you were already doing that for Godot 4. Yeah, it should be a GD extension based thing, which is why I'm thinking that the like GD mono stuff was probably refactored to use GD extension in some capacity. Like, put in a new baseline C API that's GD extensions that has a deep interconnection with the core of the engine. And then from there, build this, refactor the scripting languages integrations so that they're built on top of that C API. I think kind of what they did. I have not reviewed the source code on that, so don't trust me on that. But yeah, so because I have seen things where it seems like it's doing some kind of GD native pointer call or virtual call when you're like trying to do various script calls. And I'm like, did they like change things so that calling a method in a script actually involves going through the C API now? Like, I don't know. So yeah, it would make sense. Okay, so it happens during a scan, and I can trigger scan with this, perhaps. I don't know if I would want to be doing that directly, though. I'd have to check other locations where that happens. That's in process, if use threads, scanning changes done. So if you are currently scanning changes, I would guess, process loop is being shared by scan changes and scan. Interesting, okay. I know that, yeah, editor file system is, I don't remember if it was always a node, but now it's a node. So it actually has like a process loop and stuff. It's kind of interesting. I'm guessing they did that because now the whole engine is like multi-threaded to insanity, which is awesome. But I don't, maybe that was always the case. I don't think so. I just remembered it being like a random singleton, but I mean, it's still a singleton. You can access it statically, but it's also a node. Oh, so it just calls it again down here. So notification process, and then, wait, did I just click on the same one? Notification process, the same method, 1313 and 1291. Okay, yeah, they're here. All right, so if scanning changes are done, that process false, wait to finish, and then essentially enqueue for the next thing. Else, if you are not scanning and thread is started, that process false. If files is, I wonder if process false is related to scanning for changes, and then it like does a complete scan or something. New file system is temporary spot, and then yeah, the editor file system is like the new, like it reconstructs the whole directory tree essentially every time. Right, this is a tree of editor file system directory, yeah. Okay. So, and then it queues update of the script classes there, okay. Other times it gets called What is this? Update file. So if you can, so you can update an individual file. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, if you're reloading assemblies, that would be the type of thing, but I don't want to have to do like an individual file update every time. I'd want to have like a list of files that I directly want to update. Is that a thing? Probably not. If not find file, not fs return. If not file exists. Wait, what? Okay, so if not file exists, the file was removed. Delete internal files. Might have never been part of the editor file system. The files deleted in open dialog. As ID, remove ID. So it makes sure that the resource UIDs are removed and then deletes the data in the data structures and the object memory. All deferred file system changed because the file is no longer there. So it's a way of indicating that a specific file was modified, I guess, or at least checking for that. And so then if it wasn't removed and it's still there, either it's a new file or it was modified. String type equals resource loader, get resource type. Text file extensions dot has get extension text file. If the type is empty. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if it doesn't know what it is, then just label it as a text file. Wait, text file extensions. What is this? Oh crap, it's not gonna have the. I want to keep this. I'm just curious what the various options here are. Right, so I'm guessing it would be like txt as well as maybe tres, something like that. Where is it defined? Do they have like the actual list of things that go into it? Text file. Oh, it's in the settings. Okay. I'm guessing that gets initialized somewhere. Okay. Which I'd have to actually look for that key to know where it is. Or text file ext if valid extensions insert. Yeah. So it just goes off of whatever's in the editor settings. That's kind of cool. All right. So back to the other thing that's actually important. My queue update. Here we go. So this is where we were. The resource ID. You try to find the file. Text file name p file. Wait, so p file is what we're passed, right? Because we're updating a file. You get the UID of that file. If wait, what? FS files. Wait, you just do a linear iteration? Wait, so cpost. Where is this? It's -1. Find file. Okay. You try to find the file by its path. Then you get the UID, and if you could not find the file by its path, okay, then natural no case compared to, so you just do a linear search and iterate through. And then can't find it. Wait, no, that's if files is less than 0. Oh yeah. So if you still can't find it, a weird thing, natural no case less than 0. Yeah, because that's going to indicate that you just failed to find it, and then it breaks. Why'd you break out of the loop if you're looking for it? Less than file size. So you iterate over every single file. Natural no case compared to fs file sub I file. That's going to be the file path. Less than 0. Oh wait, it's a comparison. So if it's less, I'm guessing is what it's coming down to. And if it's already, I'm guessing it's already ordered in that fashion. So then you would expect it to be equal if it's not less. I'm guessing that's where that comes from. Yeah, it's ensuring that it gets inserted in a position that is appropriate, right, to an ordered list. Okay, okay. That took me a second. All right. File exists. Late update. Oh wait, late update files. The file exists and it was updated and was not added in this step. This means we must force upon next restart to scan it again to get proper type and dependencies. Huh. Save late updated file. So they actually have a mechanism for that. Great. That was basically the thing that I hacked in my first version of this, where I was like, oh, scripting languages have to specify that they are a compiled language. And then if you are a file belonging to a compiled language, then you end up having a secondary scan after like a build or something like that. Like I did this thing because you would change the text of the file, and because the text of the file changed, it would trigger a scan, but then doing a build didn't trigger anything. And so I'm like, well, now I'm going to make it so that if you're a compiled language, then the act of compiling also triggers a scan only for the files that are compilable. So it sounds like they already have a mechanism associated with that kind of task. Queue update script classes, try emit file system change. So really, I just need to call this method then, I guess, update file, theoretically. Because it would then ensure that the queue is started. Try emit file system changed. And this is also something that has a like suppress file system change signal. I'm guessing this is something that also will kind of be stopped until it's really necessary, so that you can do like multiple update file calls in a single moment, and it'll just kind of batch them all together maybe. Keep results. I'm already keeping results on that. Okay, great. So I can do a find results or find all references. Equals true is during a scan. Equals false is afterward update scan actions. Equals false, then it does it. Yeah, so it's only when it's in the middle of scanning that it suppresses it. And then otherwise, okay. Which emit signal file system changed. So, well, now I'm curious, is it safe to call update file in random locations? Like, where does that get called? Because if other people are calling it in a loop or something of that nature, then it's safe. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Underscore update file, editing. Yeah, so they do that. They just go through a loop and they do update file on things. Excellent. Okay, so that's basically what I need to do. Assuming that the actual script is in this list. So let's make the change just to make sure that we're actually ending up with that editor message. Hear that CS node 2, save the file, and then rename your, to save, and then yeah, so that's fine for that. And then I build. Okay, did we get our editor? Yeah, updating editor cache. Yes, and it has the correct info for both. That's what we wanted. Yes. Okay, so now theoretically, I can modify this to do script successfully reloaded, and if the path is not emptied, then I want to update the file. It's editor file system singleton. Let's store this in a variable, please. Editor file system pointer EFS is equal to this, and then I can say EFS update file script get path. And then I won't need these. This should be after I've updated the script class set name and icon path, right? Actually, wait. I don't need to do this, do I? Because when you update the stuff, like it queues the update, and then both of those things will get updated. So you don't need this. I'll comment it out for now. I shouldn't need that. And then this will already be queued because I did update file. So if it was indeed modified, then it would trigger that. Okay, and so now let's just make sure that I have a print line to indicate that I'm trying to do this. Let's see. Yeah, reloaded C# script. Updated in EFS during this, and then plus script get path with, yeah, do that. Okay, try this again. Let's see, could you look at the compiled files instead of the source files? You mean the DLL, like decompile the DLL? I don't know exactly what you mean. Because the source file, you tell it to build, it builds DLL. It's just binary, essentially, or bytecode. I mean, I could look at the bytecode, but I don't think it would be very interesting. Unless I, use some kind of tool to decompile it, and then it would basically just give me a very technical reconstruction, low-level reconstruction of what the C# script contained. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Oh, man. Okay. I mean, yeah, it would be great if it was that easy, but, if it were that easy, we wouldn't be using compiled files. Okay, here we go. Put that there. That, reload, reload. Okay. So, script, CS node 2, CS node 2 should have both showing up, right? Yep. Okay, so now rename the file. Save, clear out this stuff, build. Okay, reloaded C# script, updated, yep, as the update thing. Update script classes queued, proceeding. Yes, it did it. CS node, it has worked. Victory. All right. So now I can make changes to the global type, and it will actually register in here. Awesome. All right, so now here's the test. I should be able to do a constructor for this, my fancy CS node. Right? Now save, and then build. My fancy CS node, yeah, it works. It works. Okay, well, actually, let's, make sure this actually works properly, right? So I can create it, it'll add it, it has the script attached. If I click it, it takes me to the file, great. I should be able to run the scene, hopefully. Yeah. Gonna let me actually create an instance of the scene. Yeah, reloading C# script, yep, okay. Yeah. Awesome. Everything's working the way it should. That feels good. All right. Now we have to get export resources working. All right, so to have this work, right? So terrain, this should just give me every single resource, right? Yeah, because it's a type resource. And then I don't remember if I fully implemented the support for this, but we can try it at least. So if I say terrain, right? I want to export whatever type is called terrain, and then build. And now, oh yes. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, this is a GD script resource being exported by a C# script. Yep, that just worked out of the box magically. Wow. I didn't even have to fix any bugs. That was awesome. It just works. That's actually amazing. That's honestly incredible. What if I run this? Yeah, dude, what? Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah. The only thing is that for whatever reason, if I modify this file in like VS Code and then come back to Visual Studio, it flips out. So I have to modify it like inside the script editor. It's an alpha, right? So there's some kind of issue, but wow, that is so cool though. Okay, wait, so if that works, then I should also be able to make a C# resource, right? That's the next step. So let's have a new script of C# that inherits from resource, and class name. It doesn't let you pick a class name. Oh, I guess, yeah, because it's based on whatever name you give here, and then the name has to match the name of the file. Yeah. Template object empty. Do they have? Oh yeah, they don't have other templates here. So I'll do. What should we do? Let's say an artisan. You can have an artisan who is able to be affiliated with a certain industry, that kind of thing. Create artisan. Okay, public partial class artisan. Now I should be able to say global, and it'll use artisan as the type name as a resource. And I should be able to say that I want to make a new resource of type artisan. Oh no, it didn't work. Okay. Oh wait, because I didn't build. Gotta build. Okay, now artisan, yeah. Now I have an artisan. Okay, wait, and so now I can say public string. Oh no, wait, I wanted an industry, right? Which I already know that I can do because I just tested it. So export industry, and then public resource industry get set equals null. You don't have to say that, but whatever. Save and build. But it won't. It doesn't update this. Oh, it does. Nice. Okay. Oh yeah, because there's logic in the C# that was doing that, right? It was, yeah, here. Inspector doc and node doc update tree. Hack to refresh editor in order to display new properties and signal. Yeah. Wait, why does it say node doc? Oh, and inspector doc. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I was like node doc and something else. I'm like, why is the inspector updating? That makes sense though. Yeah, so I can do quick load, and it can find my test industry. Great. And then it's got clothes and salt. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Maybe I don't want that. It's fine. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I have an artisan who's really good at making clothes and crafting salt and manufacturing salt. Right. Okay, so save that. And now this is a resource. I want to save this now, right? Save CS, and we'll say salt maker. Salt maker.tres. Speaking of salt, I'm on a 3-minute break and got a notification that you're live, Element. Hey, Robbie. Right, yeah. Everyone else has like no idea. They're like, why you salty, bro? No. Yeah. So, Robbie, you might have missed it, but yeah, I just got working a thing that I've been working for like 2 weeks now, and it just like magically worked. So yeah, it was cool. So yeah, if anyone's curious, Robbie doesn't really know too much about programming, but he's one of my friends. And holy crap, it's cool. He's into tech stuff. So basically, like, I wish I could have seen the look of his assignment. Well, hey, when the stream ends, it's all recorded, so you can go back and actually see. It was maybe a little less than an hour into the stream. So yeah, so we have two different languages, right? There are these GD files and then the CS files. So two scripting languages. And I am currently able to define a scripting language, or here's something called industry in the GD script language, and I gave it a global type name. And then I go to this class and I can say I want to export whatever the type is that's called industry. You know the basics of CS? Oh, well, my bad. I didn't realize that. And yes, there are VODs on YouTube if you keep it checked, which I do. And so yeah, so there's a GD script resource that is defined, and I can create an instance of it on this C# class and like store it in the C# class. Basics. So yeah, this is pretty darn awesome. All right, so now I was testing to see artisan is a type of resource, and I've now saved it as a saltmaker tres, so I have an instance of an artisan. I should probably change the name of this to actually like communicate that it's an artisan. Artisan saltmaker. Saltmaker, something like that. That's a weird naming scheme, but whatever. Also, apparently you're already a better streamer than me, even have a chat on screen. I'm glad. Prep worked out. Very well done. Got to go to sleep. Oh, okay, but it's really helpful to see how you go through. It makes you go less. Bye, guys. Yeah, see you. Thanks for hanging around. I was glad you're able to learn some stuff and enjoy the experience. I need to get my stream game up. I mean, it wasn't that hard. I just like Googled a video. Hey, how do I get my chat on screen? And then it had it. It was like, oh, you just there's like a browser thing inside of OBS, and I just added it as one of the sources or whatever. And then you pop out when you start the stream on YouTube, you pop out the chat, take the URL that it gives you, and then modify the properties on your browser thing to have that URL. And then you just make sure that it's positioned correctly inside of your thing so that you can see the chat. But something I've learned, again, like twice in a row, is there's this little like live chat, top chat thing in the top left, and you have to make sure to switch it to live chat or you can't see anyone talking to you, because I went like 30 minutes or something without seeing any chat. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why I'm not seeing anyone. And love how I joined for 1 minute. I'm already 1 in a good mood, and 2 learned how to add chat. Yeah, see, you learn things when you hanging out with me. I don't know. Okay, so resource. Okay, artisan saltmaker tres. Right. So we've got a serialized resource file. Now I need to make sure that this is, I mean, it seems to be working properly. I need to take a GD script file and actually have it visible there. So an artisan, where would I find an artisan? Urban terrain, wild terrain. You could say urban terrain has people living on it. I don't know. Well, so I'll need to test out both things really. So maybe we'll create a C# script called city. I'm gonna go quickly finish up and then run home. Okay, I'll see you. New script, we're gonna have a city resource, and then the city will have artisans, global, public. I think I could do list, right? List of artisan. Yeah, artisan. And these things, are they declared in the global? I mean, it should be a global namespace, I'm pretty sure, right? I don't know what, I think, are they automatically put in a Godot namespace? or you have a project specific namespace. I actually am not really familiar. I should be able to just reference artisan and it'll work. I don't know if they let you define alternative namespaces though. I'll have to experiment with that, I guess. Yeah. Hello everyone who's joining in. Okay, public list artisan. So I'll have artisans and say get set, which I'll initialize as a new list of artisan. Okay, so that should work. And then, yeah, and because you generally want it to be a new empty list or something in Godot, at least I would suspect. Global resource with artisans in it. Okay, so that should all work. Oh well, yeah. List is what is that? Using the system dot collections dot generic something. No, forgetting what that is. Because I can't get proper C# autocomplete here. List T C# system collections generic. I did have it right. Okay. System dot collections dot generic. What? That's giving me an error? Hope not. There shouldn't be an error, right? Like if I just build, is that gonna give me an error? 0? No, everything's good. Okay. Great. Artisan. Yeah, so artisan, you can have a city. So city has a list of artisans, and then I needed what was I gonna? I was gonna have urban terrain. I was gonna say urban terrain as a city. No, I guess it really would be the other way around, right? You've got, well, yeah, I'll say city for urban terrain has a city. Yeah, you'll have one city on an urban terrain, which I guess I'll take out the industry because that'll make more sense probably. I don't know. It's kind of confusing to say, oh, urban terrain has a. Oh wait, crap. Can I even do this properly? I can't because GDScript doesn't support it. Wow, because they enforce static typing for everything now. And I can't say that this is a thing. Yeah, you have to give it a new instance for an initial value. That's stupid. No, I can't even do that. Can I? Dang. I can't enforce that it's a specific type because the only way to enforce a specific type is to use static typing in the 4.0 version of GDScript, which means you have to reinstate the ability to do it the other way. That's annoying. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna need to make that like a separate pull request, or like a separate pull request, because they don't like. I would need to do something akin to this and say city, and then just leave it like that or something, but they don't let you do that. Or and see, I would want to be able to say that the static type of this is something different, like resource, because I know it has to be some kind of resource. But I would want the inspector to designate that it has to be a city. But it doesn't support that. Okay, so I'll have to leave this out as a comment for now, and then we'll have to test that in a separate case. For now, I'll just say it has to be some kind of resource, and then I'll just click and drag something onto it. Resource equals null. Yeah, so that'll be how we do it for now. But yeah, that's an issue. So let me go to my, I have known bugs, right? So This is not a thing. And apparently the file system is scanning properly. I just didn't, yeah, it wasn't triggering like I thought it was supposed to be, and just something I misunderstood, I guess. C# is working, so to speak. I need to verify, but known bugs. Oh yeah, so GDScript does not support non-static type hints for exports. Yeah. Example, non-GDScript resource types. Yeah. Need to test loading other languages script as export properties. Don't need to test that. Already got it working. And then getting C# to work, almost confirmed. I need to make sure that I have an actual instance applied, right? So wasn't terrain. I had terrain. Here we go. I'm going to say urban terrain. Do I have another thing? No. Just grab the. I had a test res. That's what it was. Yeah. Urban. Let's go to urban 2. And yeah, there's nothing in here. I'll create a new industry, and then industry. Wait, no, not industry. Press that. This. I want a new city. Yeah. And so this is where I take my city, which I don't have yet, obviously. Okay, so I'll say this is where I need to make a city. Yeah. Make a city. And the city, did I not compile it? Probably didn't compile it. I must have compiled it. Oh, but not after I gave it the property, right? So then, which probably would have messed up it loading the inline instance because there's nothing to load, right? Oh no. City, okay. City has, oh, because I didn't export it. And then build. That gonna open inline update? Yeah, great. So now I can take my artisan salt maker, drag it over. Yeah. And then the artisan, man, this is awesome. Okay, so I have a C# city with an array of C# artisans, and that has a subarray of, or yeah, so it has a subarray of artisans. The artisans are C# types. I dragged a C# resource of type artisan onto it, and now it's showing me GDScript sub resources. So cool. Awesome. Okay, so that's my city, and now I need to save this as, yes, city 1.tres. Now let's make it test city 1 like that, right? Or maybe, no, go with the other convention, city with salt maker. With salt maker. Just stupid names, whatever. Okay, so now I have my tile2d2 with the test urban 2, and now the city is this one. Save. Yep. All working. That is phenomenal. That's actually phenomenal. So that's all working perfectly. So C# works officially. Wow. Can't believe I actually got through all the stuff that I put on the timeline for this stream. I mean, I guess the next thing to work on is this GDScript, thing. Let's make sure that I save what I have. Close this. Great. Yeah, get rid of the little exception being thrown. And okay, going to amend this, and this is going to be the C# support or C# fixes, right? Fixes. And then I need to get rid of all of the other things that I did here. I had a ton of like print statements I don't need. No, that's the wrong. Just dev history. I want to see this. Okay. So it's just those two files, okay. And then I don't need that anymore. But I want to get all of the print lines removed. There, file system. Print line. There we go. Get rid of these. And that was it. And then C# script CPP. Don't need these, don't need that. I don't really even know if I need this, technically. I don't think that if statement is necessary, because if it's successfully loaded, then there should already be a file. So you don't need that. Update file will take care of executing that bit. Don't need the ed, don't need this. Okay. And now we can get rid of the other print line statements I added in. Oh, wait. Yeah, don't need that. Yeah. Reloading C# script. Need that. Assigning name. Assigning base type. Nope, that's not me. Has been modified. That's me. That's it. Okay. That should be everything. So those are the C# fixes. So now, git log. C# fixes, that should all be stuff that I want to add to my GD script. C# build, GD, C#. Is there anything else? No, I think that should be everything. Yeah. GD res C#, git cherry pick, GD res dev log, git base -I head tilde 2 because we want to have that fix up into the other. And then I want to inspect what the content of that is. I guess I can just do a git diff, but, or whoops, git diff head tilde 1. Right. I don't know if I can just expand it after I've already. Yeah, I can. Cool. Okay, yeah, so C# script, add the editor file system, handles global cloud. Wait, what? I added that? Oh, yeah. That was from my past work that I did. Okay, yeah. So add the method to make sure that we can get script class information. Then you add what things were successfully reloaded. And then, see, do I really need to do that? I mean, I could just do the EFS update file at that point. Like, I don't need to do this other like secondary thing, do I? You just add the tools enabled bits and it would probably be fine. Yeah, because then you don't have to do that unnecessary memory allocation for the vector. Do that. where we allocate this. It's not necessary. And then this stuff. You do need the editor file system declaration though. So, and where did I have it? Yeah, right there. Successfully rebuilt. This is where the stuff would happen. And then I don't need this, but I do need to have this logic duplicated where the declaration can be made for all of the scripts. So we have editor file system as a reference. So that when we enter the loop, we can use EFS to update the file. Here. Yeah. Great. So I don't need that. Excellent. Okay. That should be everything for that. Okay. Active refresh editor. Yeah. So that, okay, so now I can just push this, git push F. Now git checkout gdres all 4.0. Now I can do git merge gdres C#, git push. That'll update that. And then I need to take my projects and zip them and re-upload them so that GitHub has the right stuff. Fixed resources not appearing. Oh, that's something I do want to look at, but here we go. Need to make sure that I have my project files for mono, and then inspector resources probably. I'll just have the mono one zipped up. Add to archive mono as a zip file. Right, zip. Okay, and now inspector resources mono. Good conversation. Make sure we have this added. I'll need to open the pull request for the C# support. Where? I guess I need to actually go to my fork to add that. Yeah. They're gonna have my, yeah, Godot C# compare and pull request. Able to merge. I should have my other. Where's my other thing? Yeah, here we go. These ones. Copy. Then paste that in here. Add support for C# to be able to define global types using a global attribute and export user-defined resource types, including global script classes from other languages using a export type name attribute. There we go. Related issues is 18, right? Yeah, first class resource. Allow exporting custom resources. Yep. Script class aware. Oh yeah, the sibling PRs, which has now expanded further. Right after this, it will have iterations not yet tested for script languages. Yeah, I'll have to amend that, but this is fine. Everything appears to be working properly. Yeah. Okay. And now let's update sibling PRs for all of these things. And not yet tested with the, yeah. GD script does not yet support exports for non-GD script languages because there is no export type name syntax. Big comment 63126. Edit 63126. Update. Yep, GScript resource export, and now go here for amending the child PRs and adding the secondary demo project. Demo project for C# mono also relies on all our PRs being present. Now grab my file. Okay. Wow, exporting custom resources. Oh, well, apparently something broke in some other build. What? Wait, what? What is this? When did that happen? No new line at end of file global attributes. Yes. Oh. Okay, interesting. I guess I'll need to make sure I do that. In my GD script, the CS version. What is that? Git checkout GD res C#. And then go to the file. Not this one. I want the Go files. Make sure that that's corrected in the global attribute, which is near this one. Global attribute has a new line at the end of the file. Okay, there we go. Apparently it has to have that, so yeah. Is there anything else that was there? Make sure I export this again. Okay. Log add sort of add status. Yeah, so there's the modification, git commit, amend, no edit, push F, and then I need to check out GD res all 4.0, which add C# added 2, yes, the 2. Oh no, I just need to take off this one, I guess. That's all. And then git log has that stuff now. I do git merge res sharp log. Yeah, and now git push F. Okay. And that's allow exporting. So this should have triggered it to start rebuilding, I think. Yeah. Atlinks was saying something about the stuff I did. Wait, no, that's the same one I was just on. Fresh. This one. You said something here, right? Throwing the error because it's parsing something that's not a tag, since I assume what's below are assigned statements. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Hey, someone already liked it. Aaron Frankie. And now I have now added C# support. Still working on, or let's see. There is still a bug where the script language does not have the syntax to support exporting non-GD script types, since at export type name is now absent from the language's syntax for some reason. I will work on ending that. In the GD script PR, so that the demo project for Mono will actually be able to directly export the C# data types properly. There we go. For now, they just have to export resource like before. Okay. So now that's the next thing we'll work on, I guess. Go to do. We're on the right branch. Git checkout res GD script. I want to do GD script. No, I think I want to do it on res dev, where I should already have all the logic already, right? Git log. Let's just reset hard to GD res all 4.0, because it should have everything already. Yeah. All right, and then make sure that we have a good build and start investigating the GD script issues. Close all tabs. How's everyone liking the stream? Well, I guess there's 1, 2 people at the moment. Kind of jumping around a lot, I know. So if you ever have any questions or any comments to throw around, you are free to ask. Say what you will, and I will do my best to address your concerns / questions. I am out of coffee though, so my mouth is getting a little dry. Okay, GD script. Need the parser and the tokenizer. Probably the compiler. Oh, okay, we probably don't need the tokenizer, but the parser we'll need. Oh, and the header files. I want the CVP files. Which, again, have a lot of stuff open. Core, that's fine. Drivers, don't need that. I will probably need the editor, because I inevitably need it. But GD script, here we go. Editor, parser. Oh. Yeah, so the build worked great. Okay, so when we handle export, yeah, here we go. At export, annotations. We'll need something that can handle arguments. Export annotations, property hint none, variant nil. We don't have one for property hint resource, right? Pretty sure. I mean, maybe they would just want a dedicated export res or something, or export resource, or I mean, you really should just be able to say export and then give the data type, because then it would have the same kind of direct behavior as the statically typed exports. I mean, I guess that's kind of up to interpretation, but if I do it one way and then they want it changed to the other, that's easy enough to fix. But it would be more consistent if you just had export and it was, mimicking the same behavior that you had previously, where you could just have export and then give the name of the thing you wanted exported. So that's what I'm going to try and replicate. Okay, so GScript parser, export annotations. Oh, okay, nope, dog. Nope, sorry, my dog is getting under my feet. Come on, over here, buddy. Out, out, no. There you go, good boy. You just want some attention. I know you do. He is always begging for attention. Okay. Export annotations. Property hint none. Variant nil. Right, but so the other ones have a specific property hint that they refer to. And one of these, if I recall correctly, should be property hint resource type. Yep, right there. So that's the one I care about, but we don't really want it to be like that exactly, because we don't want it like hard coded somehow or something, right? So what does this actually do? Let's see. Annotation node, and then the other node, whatever it may be. Yeah. Node type annotation can only be applied to variables. Okay, yeah, so it's making sure that it's applied to the right thing. The argument count limit for export flags, so we're not dealing with that. Variable is equal to variable node, right? So it knows it has to be some sort of variable. If variable exported, annotation cannot be used with another @export annotation. That would imply that the export is being combined with some other annotation, and they're trying to prevent that. Okay. Yeah, like whatever the annotation is, it cannot be combined with export. Yeah. Variable exported is equal to true. Variable export info type and int. They just assign the type export info. Oh, because you pass a specific node, you cast it to variable, it will then have export information because of how the parser parsed the variable to know its export information, whatever that is. Which I'm guessing, like, based on how do they determine the type exactly? I mean, I guess if it's statically typed, you would know the type, but if it's not statically typed, right, then it's just untyped. Variant type, which I guess, yeah, so it would be type nil, which is what they did in the declaration of it, right? They had here, yeah, register annotation here, yeah. This is where they do it. So they give a property hint and a specific variant type, and that's what it ends up being the parameters. We jump forward, t hint and t type template. Well, no, wait, so they don't have t hint and t type as the things. Oh, but you're t hint and t. Oh, they're just assigning. Okay, I'm an idiot. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking they were reading those values. They're assigning them to build up the data. Okay, and then int string resolved arguments. Resolved arguments size. So presumably there are different implementations of annotation nodes that have specific set of resolved arguments that they allow. So I'll have to make modifications to annotation node or something. What is this? Int string resolve arguments, or is it, no? That wouldn't make sense. There's only one type, isn't there? And then they have it split out into handling all the different cases. There's only one annotation node. Hey, no, stop. Laredo, shush. Laredo, no, calm down. Okay, export info, hint string equals hint string. This is called after the analyzer is done finding the type. So this should be set here. Yeah, so because the analyzer does its static analysis of all the GDScript files to dissect like what the types of things are. That way it can inform the parsing process, which is why we no longer have the circular reference issues from Godot 3. So it gets the data type as far as the parser is concerned. So now we're saying if it's the @export annotation, data specifier is equal to null and variable initializer is equal to null. Cannot use, yeah, so that just makes sure that you provide something to say that it's, you know, a specific thing. Is array equals false if the built-in type is array and has container element type, yeah. Use inner type for, right, is array equals true, that makes sense. And if they do end up adding logic for dictionaries, then they'll have to add like another segment to that somehow. Or if they ever do other sorts of generic types, they might have to just completely replace this with a more kind of, you know, object-oriented or like generic, you know, generic-based approach to handling this logic. If export type is variant or export type has no type. So if it's potentially any type, right, or if it's just undefined, what is the, what does that mean? Because that I would have thought that's, I guess has no type means nil, right? And then what's the, I don't have my shortcuts, so I need to do definition. Okay, so is variant is kind is equal to variant or kind is unresolved. Okay, and then has no type is type source undetected. I don't know what that means. Type source undetected. I mean, it seems like it would mean the same thing as variant, but I'm guessing, yeah, kind versus type source. What are the different potential type sources? Type source can be any type, has inferred type, but still dynamic. So it's just the nature of how the type was determined. Annotated explicit, annotated inferred, which would be like an inferred assignment, yeah. But still dynamic if it's inferred here. Wait, is that a thing? I guess it is. Didn't realize they had that. Yeah, because if you just assign it something like 0, then they know it's an integer, so they know what the type is, but you're keeping the variable dynamic, so it's not it's not statically typed. Okay. All right. Cannot use simple @export annotation because the type initialized value can't be inferred. Okay, I think this is the error I kept on seeing. Was it? Cannot use simple @export annotation. Because I remember I tried doing this kind of thing before and it didn't work, but maybe I think cannot use simple. Yeah, I think this is, and yeah, this is what I encountered like on my last stream or something, or the first stream or something of that nature. And I think it was the first stream, and it was like the only way that you could actually have this syntax was to statically do it, because there was no generic method of just like giving the string of a type name for, you know, some type that isn't recognized by GDScript. And that's just because they never accounted for the scenario where GDScript would have to handle a type that it internally does not recognize, which would be like a C# script, global class type or something of that nature. Yeah. So, I mean, implementation 1 would be to just use strings. Implementation 2 would be to actually have some kind of collection of global references to types that are added to GDScript the same way the other like GDScript global classes are. And then you would have the ability to pass those as parameters, right? Can you do that? Am I just completely, I might just be completely not trying the obvious solution, right? No, I tried this, didn't I? No, maybe I didn't. Earlier in the stream, didn't I go to, had my experimental thing where I tried to add the property. I was exporting in, was it tile? No, that was for terrain, urban terrain, right? Yeah. Export city. Oh no, I never tried just having a statically typed city. Well, that was dumb that I didn't try that. Because if they're already doing that work, then you don't need to do this other thing. Because then you can still refer to the other types. They would just show up as a script rather than a GD script. I don't know if they're doing that though. Godot's booting up. Come on. There we go. All right. Load. File. Thing. Terrain. Urban terrain, right? So we should have at export var city of type city equals null. Can I do this? Is that a thing? No. Oh wait, whoops. Because it's a duplicate key, maybe? Is it gonna let me do it? Nope. Could not parse global class city. So it's assuming that it's a GD script. This would be really cool if I could get it to work though, because if you could just do this, then you wouldn't need any of this nonsense. Yeah, that would be really, 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 really nice. If you just immediately had access to all the global types that were exposed globally, which, okay, redundant, but yeah, like if you could just refer to them by their identifier rather than strings, that would be the best case scenario in GDScript. So how do those end up getting defined, right? So could not parse global class. Where's that coming from? Could not parse global class. It's not in here. Could not parse global class. Not in there either, okay? That's the parser. I'm guessing it's the compiler. Could not parse global class. Okay, what's, where's the edit? Find in files, right? Could not parse global class. There we go, analyzer. Okay, else if, hey, is focus on the monitor part? Yes, sort of. Yes and no. we actually, earlier in the stream, we actually got C# support working, and I already pushed the changes to GitHub. So we can define C# types and give them a global attribute. They show up as global types. If you update the type name and the name of the file and then rebuild, the global class name also updates. You can export properties of both GDScript types and C# types, and they show up. Array support works. It's brilliant. Like it's all those, it just all worked out of the box, which is great because I had already implemented it once, previously like a year ago, and I'm glad to say that the remaining code all works still. So yeah, thanks. I'm very pleased with it. But now the issue is that GDScript doesn't really have a way of referencing the C# types, so I'm trying to make sure that's possible. Maybe next alpha then, possibly, but I mean, there's a lot of different PRs that have to be merged for it to really work. Like I've got like 5 PRs now, I think. So, they'd have to evaluate and get all those merged in. But yeah, it could be pretty soon that we would actually have it, which I'm very excited. Yeah, predicted beta in a month, yeah. So this is where, what is this function? Resolve data type. So they're trying to figure out the data type of the property, right? Is that what's happening? Result type node. Type node. That imply, yeah, I'm guessing that implies that they're parsing city. I want to set a breakpoint. And then, there we go. What is the type? Locals. Type. Type chain. Oh, crap. It's not going to have the actual text. String. See this, because there are going to be so many different things, right? This is there's industry and city. I guess we'll find out how it's analyzing things. String name first is string. Why does it think string? Good milestone, even other big engines don't have that. Probably the most requested feature. What do you mean big engines don't have that? Do you mean like probably cross-language interaction of that nature is what you mean? I mean, like Unity and Unreal Engine both have the ability for you to like, define properties on your scripts and then just create instances of those things in the inspector and save them and like scriptable objects and that kind of thing. Like that's been a thing. We just didn't really have good editor support for it. Unity can't export custom types. Can't they? Yeah. Yeah, you just define scriptable object. Scriptable object is their equivalent of. Oh wait, export you can't export? I thought you would, unless you serialize yourself. Oh really? I thought you could say like, hey, I want there to be some extra, some property that's exposed that, handles a given type, and they don't let you be type specific. That's weird. I was like, what? When I first heard that, oh, it's limited. It's like when I first heard that Godot didn't have that, I was like mind blown. I was like, what? I guess it just seems like such an obvious thing to me. And it didn't make any sense to me that an engine wouldn't have that. I was like, this is something everybody would want. Like, did you not anticipate this? Like, what? First equals name object result kind. First name is equal to variant object. So is this like the type chain of what is it trying to evaluate here? All stack interface. Trace status, resolve class interface. Variant undetected. Data type specifier is not equal to null. That's what we're passing in. Okay, is the type node for that. I think the problem is that engine focuses on real-time performance, therefore it skips serializing for the editor, inspector, and such. Skips serializing for the editor. Oh, okay, yeah. I can understand that. I mean, yeah, if they, proprietary engine, if they have, limited staff, they're trying to focus on specific features that add the most value to the product, all that kind of stuff, yeah. Quality of life features can sometimes fall by the wayside in that respect. For real-time performance is most important. Yeah, they're focusing on the AAA audience, and so they focus on the features relevant to them the most. And of course, if they are, if they have that kind of full-time staff, then they would have people who can program their own, serialization processes for exported properties or whatever. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot more sense for why they're like, why is this something that's, why would anybody want this? I'm like, oh, I don't know why someone would want something to work out of the box. Like, that's just a question mark, But no, that's kind of how it works in other engines. Last time I checked, like maybe 4 years ago. Yeah. Unity Editor wasn't able to export dictionaries. Oh yeah, Godot still can't. They have their for years in Evergame. I don't know if they'll end up having dictionaries. We'll see. I mean, maybe in a future release, but um, it could definitely happen, but it would be a little bit complicated just because you basically have to have a ton of custom logic just for handling whatever the additional case is. Like the array stuff that you'll find in various places is like a lot of array specific logic, and you have to do another thing like that for dictionaries that are the pairs of things. I feel like it would get to a point where eventually you just want to have like a generic implementation that can accommodate various types of generically typed data structures that can act as properties. But at that point, you're like, it cannot export dictionaries. No. You can export, yeah, or at least I don't think you can export a dictionary really. You can export an array, but not a dictionary. You can have a dictionary property, but it won't render in the inspector or anything because they just don't have the UI implemented for that. Yeah. Okay, so reduce expression. Okay, so we got in here, right? This is the most recent code. No, this is where we get. So why is it parsing a string? So first, yeah, so it's looking for the string section because it's got that and object. Variant type doesn't contain nested types. Object type doesn't contain nested types. Get built-in type, which we are not a built-in type. Why does it think it's a string? We are an object. Kind is native. Oh well, but see, we're not native, right? So data type, right? Kind, we would have been script. That's what we aim to be. Else if class is yeah, so we should. Wait, no, because that's why we're failing is because we're not checking these other situations. Yeah. So we need to not be evaluated as a script or as a string. So where does that determination take place, right? Variable data type specifier, which is the type node, I think is what it called it, right? Wait, wrong place. Type node? Yeah, type node. What is in this? What? This the type node? Sweet node type struct local type. No, that's not type node. Where did type node go? Type node. There we go. So has identifier node pointer with an array of them. Okay. Identifier node. So I want where did that get built that we ended up with that data? Would it be construct? I feel like it would have been constructing this in the tokenizer probably. Resolve inheritance. Array status, parser ref interface solved. Could not resolve superclass. If is, oh wait, so yeah, so registered terrain. Oh, okay, so we're handling terrain right now. Is that what's happening here? So we don't really need to care about this at the moment. This is the resolve inheritance. Or okay, because we're currently evaluating the inheritance of some script. That's what it is. Okay, I don't care about that at this moment. And then this name Am I still doing that same thing? Resolve inheritance. Okay, where's my script? Oh, well, okay, I guess I did care about that. Terrain. Oh, crap. Now I don't know which of the things I was actually looking at. P class. Is this the urban? Yeah, okay, urban terrain. There we go. That is what I want it to be in. Okay, and now I want to see. I made the change to its city property. So where does it? That's resolve inheritance. Where does that get called? Here, resolve program. Interface and body. Status resolve interface. What does that do exactly? Versus the body. I mean, I would assume that the body is what we actually care about, right? Resolve body parser head. Resolve body current class. Do functions and properties now. Resolve data type. Terrain.gd. That's going to be for, are we still handling? No, that's the class interface. Because we're still inside of the inheritance thing. Okay. View array. What in the world is going on? E type. A little confused on, okay, maybe I don't want to be here right now. Okay, resolve class body, there we go. So now we would be resolving the types associated with the various properties, right? Members. There's two members, city, right here. So it's the second loop of this. So that's the first one, and then the second one. If member.type is equal to function, apply annotations, which it's not, because it's not an inline function. Variable property. If member.type is variable and member variable property is not equal to prop none. What are the options here? Inline prop set. Oh yeah, the different ways you can define a property. Okay. If member variable property inline, yeah, it's not any of that stuff. Okay, parser current class, recurse nested classes. We don't have those. If member is not equal to, yeah, continue. If not, yeah. Okay. Check unused variables and data types of property getters and setters. These don't have getters and setters though, so is that actually gonna do anything? If, and then it would just exit, I'm guessing. But it should just totally ignore all this, right? If usages push warning, yeah, it's not, and then this is gonna be an else. Yeah, so it just goes to the end of it. Then we move on. Wait, that's the end of it. Okay. That's resolving the class body. Okay. Dependent parsers. Wait, where did we actually determine the types of the things? Raise status fully resolved. Ah, okay. That did not work how I was expecting it to. Okay, maybe I do need to go back to the other data type thing. That was still in the analyzer, pretty sure. Right, so it was resolve data type. Oh, wait, what? There's a lot of things here. What is this? Result node, which then breaks it down into the different cases. And then, so it doesn't have to do static type checks on everything, essentially. Okay. Or sorry, not static type checks, would be runtime type checks. Using enum for everything instead. Result data type. Yeah, so okay, getting back into this. So I don't know why we ended up here though. Like, okay, so let it run. Result data type. Do I have the actual file? Like, do I know I'm in the right file? Script path is res.terrain.gd. Yeah, I don't care about that. Probably gonna have a lot of these. There we go, urban terrain.gd. That's the file I want. Their way to know key type. Feel like resolve program. I only care about the city property. Oh, there we go. Next is industry. Next. Next. Identifier node. Variable node. At export. Urban terrain. Then identifier node to a class. For industry, right? That's what it was. Didn't I read that right? Or this is probably not actually significant at the moment, but container element. So it's this, yeah, so the stuff hasn't been resolved yet. It's iterating over all the content of the body of the script, theoretically. Right? And I can't tell what is this thing. If the next one is industry, undefined source, GDScript parser node. Does it know exactly like where the thing we are? Type chain is industry. I mean, this has got to be related to that first property, right? It's here, right? So it's evaluating this thing. I think the different nodes it's referring to are like, we've got the variable node, we've got the annotation node, we have the type node. Should be how it's seeing things. And then first industry, making sure I'm not missing something here. Oh, wait, I just missed a call. Give me 1 second, everyone. Sorry, I have to take this call real quick. Sorry about that. My wife was calling me. Wanted to make sure things were going all right. Let's see. So, looks like it's evaluating industry. No new comments. Okay, cool. Evaluating industry, which is that other property. I don't care too much about the industry at this moment. First is empty. Yet, which, yeah, it makes sense because we haven't assigned a value to it yet. Array. That would be not this file. Industry.gd. Okay, yeah. Don't care about that. Urban terrain. First city. Here we go. So city. And I wanted to know how we ended up evaluating city, right? How did type node get constructed? That should be part of the parser, I'm guessing. Because if I recall correctly, it thinks, see, first is city as the type. Get built-in type. Okay, no, there we go. So this is actually the part that we wanted to see. Class exists. What is in here? Class DB and is exposed. So that's like, is it a native class? Native engine classes. Okay. Else if is global class, which it is, parser script path is equal to get global class path. So if it's the current one, basically, which it's not. And then here, okay, tries to create GDScript parser ref, get parser 4, and then the ref would not be valid, I assume, right? Reference status empty, correct, right? It would, what's the next thing? Is valid, and reference is something not equal to null pointer. Or, wait, so it returned true. It said it was valid. Interface solved not equal to okay. Raise status. What is the result? It is okay. Said resolved, right? Interface resolved. So then we end up, oh no, empty. Okay, status equals parsed. While p, wait, what? P new status, interface solved. Wait, it said that it solved the interface for the file? Seriously? Break. And it's kind of adding up to things. Empty, parsed. These are like different stages or something. Wasn't it? Yeah, interface solved, but it did a break here. Get source code, GDScript cache. Oh, because it's not a GDScript. Right, parse error. Yeah, which would make sense. I hope it's not just assuming that it's GDScript though. Seems like it is, right? Because the result, it says parse error, and then it returns that, which is why we end up getting that error. Okay. So we need it. That's what we have to fix. Alrighty. Get parser 4. Raise status. So then how do you, what's the best way to fix this? GDScript parser ref. Get parser head get that's what we really want, is ref is valid should just fail, I would think. Get parser 4. What is this logic? String path. I mean, if the string is not a GD file, then it shouldn't work. Right? You can't have GDScript that's not a GD file. I don't know if they did that on purpose though. Like, do they have some sort of metadata files that aren't actual GDScript, like .gd files, but then they're using them to be analyzed as GDScript somehow? I don't know if that was an intentional oversight. Depended parsers.has ppath depended parsers. Right, this is how they handle a dependency, circular dependencies. GDScript cache get parser ppath. If ref is valid, dependent parsers ref. Let's see, we don't want to do this for things that aren't GD files, right? I feel like that's all we have to do is just verify that this is a GD file. And if they want to have something that's not a GD file in here, then they should just have that be some sort of list of file extensions that they're explicitly handling somehow. Yeah. So then you can just have this error okay. Like, you don't need to even bother doing this stuff if it's not. So if ppath.getFile, or get extension, get file, get extension. You just do get extension, get extension. Does that work? Is equal to was it GDScript language? Get singleton, then get extension, right? Extension, something like that. So if it's not a GD file, then you can just return that. And does that alone just fix it? Because then it doesn't try to interpret whatever is provided as a GD script for parsing purposes, which would then therefore prevent it from getting a failure to parse on the file. And so it would continue on with logic and end up just treating it like some kind of script type, hopefully. We'll see if that's how it would work. I am going to have to get going here, though, in a second. So if this does or does not work, that'll be the end of this stream. Let us see how things go. Godot booting up on my other screen here. And oh, I'm hitting breakpoints. Continue. Okay, reload, load. And we have this file. Hey, wait, is that? Oh yeah, because it's not modified, right? I haven't actually updated it yet. Yeah. So now we try at export var city of type city equal to null. Dang it, could not parse. Okay, so it still does not work. That sucks. All right, well, it will be continued another day then, it would seem. Okay. Funsies. Put that back, I guess. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I shall see you another time, probably next weekend or one after that. I don't know. It's just kind of whenever I get a free moment, so. Bye-bye, everyone.